The Non-Aligned Movement Youth Organization NAMYO organized an event to cultivate a new generation of Africans and Nigerian youth especially, anchored in civic responsibility, national unity and principled leadership. In his address, Mohammed Bello Bala Shagari believes the initiative is a shift towards a more radical, intentional inclusion that empowers young people rather than mere symbolism.
We are not going to do nothing, we are going to do something. And that is where the idea of NBN comes from. The NAMYO Volunteer Network is about putting people to work. It is evident that Nigeria's population is growing rapidly and Africa's population is expanding even faster. More than half of this population is made up of young people between the ages of 18 and 35. Unfortunately, many of these young people are left without skills, without access to quality education, and without jobs. This is the gap that NBN intends to fill. Young people, if not properly engaged and empowered, can easily become liabilities, not because they are incapable, but because opportunity is denied to them. This is why NAMYO Africa Regional Office has come up with this initiative, supported by a structural digital application that connects young people to education, service opportunities, and access to public and private institutions. NBN Africa is not an informal volunteer movement. It is a structured, verifiable system where service, skills, participation, and impact are tracked, recognized, and rewarded. This is a structure which allows, this structure is what allows NBN to be trusted, scalable, and useful to communities, institutions, governments, and partners. We are starting by piloting this initiative in Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, and as a vice chair for Africa of the Non-Aligned Movement Youth Organization, and as Nigerian, it makes strategic sense to begin here. From Nigeria, we intend to scale this initiative to other countries across Africa in a clearly defined phases. NBN Africa is not only designed to serve the young people, it is also designed to serve communities, institutions, governments, and partners, both in the private and the public sector.
Chairman of the occasion, former FCT Minister Ali Modibo, believes youth should find their ways to join political parties, which is the start to the change of baton for the future.
And we can tell you, for some of us that are a little bit older, approaching 70, my senior brother, the Sarki is much, maybe up to, already has passed the 70 mark. Just Ambassador Baraya is about my age, in our late 60s. But we want to tell you that leadership does not come on the platter of gold. We don't hand it over to you. It was not handed over to us. It was sheer hard work and sometimes being at the right place at the right time. Even though I think it was Edison or Einstein that said, success, whenever you see success in people, is 99% perspiration, 1% luck. So no matter what opportunity you have, or how connected you are, or the right, you still have to work hard. The gentlemen in uniform here know the grills that they went through before attaining the position that they have attained. So hard work, more hard work, and more hard work. Then number 4 will be being at the right time and seizing that moment. So what I want to say is that you have to be out there. Get it from us. We're already tired. You see us coming late for meetings. We don't used to be like this before. In the past, we would be here very early in the morning, excited that there's an occasion. But now we are tired, seriously. And we keep this recital because basically, and I even lately have begun to feel that one of the greatest Malay in Nigeria is, and Africa maybe at large, in certain countries, is not even the vices that we hear, corruption, this and that. It's more of incompetence, lack of competencies. Lack of competencies. So when you go to other countries, the reason why you see them accelerating is because there's competencies, and then they even go beyond because then they start thinking of new ideas.
Keynote Speaker Honorable Aliu Gebi reiterated that development will not be achieved without empowering a values-driven youth movement committed to unity, justice, and effective governance.
A little bit uncomfortable, and I try to tell the older ones to be a little bit cautious with this statement. Because this statement could incite disruptive activities that could become counterproductive to the future that we seek to build. Captain Traore, who is a youth, took power that was not given to him on a platter, as did Goita, as did Mamadi, etc., etc. So I think what the older generation needs to be doing, or maybe my own generation, which is the end of their generation, is to begin to recount that power is not given rhetoric that I grew up with. Maybe we should say power is not given, power is taken, but responsibly so. I thought I should just take that out of my mind. Then the second issue, again, and I'm glad my younger brother mentioned a word that is very dear to me, exclusionism. As long as it is the elite talking to the elite, trying to understand a problem from the perspective of the elite to provide a solution that the elite will never encounter because they do not know the problem, then the problems will persist. Lack of inclusion, lack of inclusivity, whether social inclusion, political inclusion, not necessarily financial inclusion, is the bane of our existence, and it is what has put us on this dangerous trajectory where we have all sorts of deviant behavior that inadvertently have been triggered by our own processes of exclusionism. If you take the case of Al-Jawlani, now he calls himself Al-Shara, the president of Syria. This man was in Al-Qaeda, then he was in ISIS, and then now he's in the White House. And he's in his, 30s? And he was asked, why did you join a terrorist group? And I keep saying this, his answer is so profound, so simple it escapes all of us perhaps. And he said, I was old enough to participate in the political process, but there was no space for me. But look at how he went full circle. So perhaps if that space had been provided for him, he wouldn't have gone through what he did to be where he is, because this is where he intended to be. If you take the case of Mukhtar Robo, Sheikh Robo, Abu Mansour, who was second in command in Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaab al-Afriqiya, Al-Shabaab in Somalia, who was as wanted as Al-Shara was wanted, came out, defected to the government, 2 years under house arrest, literally 2 days after he was integrated into the government of Somalia as Minister of Religious Affairs and Hajj Endowment. So again, if that process or system of deliberate exclusionism is not there, perhaps Abu Mansur would have been in the government ad initio, not caused the chaos that he did, not caused the funds that could have gone into other processes. Lastly, I will give an example with Muhammad Yusuf. Muhammad Yusuf also advocated for participatory politics, for youth inclusivity, just as Saad Zunguri did when he was in ABU's area. He was the first to openly call for the participation of the youth in politics so that the youth can have a say in their collective future. So I think we need to do two things. I recall when I was in the parliament, I hate speaking about when I used to be, when I was. That's a deliberate signal that one is old. I was in National Assembly in my 30s also, but I remember when the not too young to run movement started. And I said, Nigeria has always had a not too young to run policy. The Honorable Minister here benefited from it, as did many of our leaders, some alive, some not alive. Tambuwal, my speaker, was a member of House of Reps at what age? Salisu Buhari was speaker at what age? So there has always been not too young to run. But what we must have, and this young Shagari I'm talking to you, envy, and there must be a deliberate influence on policy for not too poor to run. As long as participatory politics is expensive, you are excluding 99% of those who would otherwise solve this problem the right way, and they might otherwise go and create the problem, another problem for you in your future. Second issue, again, remember I will be 50 in January 19th, and I have 7 children, 6 daughters, so by every indices, I'm old. So traditionally, I should have started the process of handing over the baton at 40. If you go back to scripture, right? 60 or 70, go back to the Bible, 3 scores maximum plus 10, so 70. So I should have started the process of handing over the baton at 40. But be that as it may, here I am at 50, still occupying a podium with the youth. I still insist and maintain a 70-year-old has no business planning for a future he will definitely not live long enough to see. There's absolutely, this is common sense. I mean, to be 70 and be vying for office actually is to almost be cheeky in the sight of the Creator. At that age, one should begin to, you have gotten the ticket, you have the boarding pass, they have announced the arrival of the aircraft. Maybe something will happen, but you are definitely at the departure lounge. Then the youth. Again, this is a brilliant initiative. This is very noble from a religious perspective, from a social perspective, from every perspective. Implementation. Here we are again speaking in an echo chamber. There is a nice bottled water here and a nice drink for me, but we are talking about people who will drink the dirtiest water, people who may never see electricity, people who may never have the opportunity to see the special advisor to the president, office of the vice president, unless he's going to run for governor and then he's campaigning, then perchance they will meet. So I would think this integration we are talking about should not be horizontal, it should be vertical. I think we need to go back down to the lowest levels of society to ensure that inclusion happens organically. The non-for-profit organizations that you are keen in are those that are owned by the people, not controlled by people in capitals, but owned and controlled and run by the people in the lowest levels of society. I agree with the Honorable Minister, former Minister, Special Advisor. Where there's a will, there's a way. But also I will go back to scripture. He talked about opportunity, preparedness, timing, and so on. Even the Creator himself said it. Before something happens, 2 things must meet. Opportunity must meet preparedness. So you ask yourself, what is better, to have the opportunity and you are not prepared, or to be prepared while waiting for the opportunity? I would say the latter. So the youth need to rise up, and you need to understand that at 30 you are old. At 30, you are not young. They are only deceiving you because of the paternalistic societies that we live in, where as long as your father is alive, you are young. Or as long as your father's age mate is running for opposition, it will be impudent of you to run for that position. And this is why you see the Senate, it has become a retirement home for people who have already collected the boarding pass. But at 30, if you are going to live to be 60, you have lived 50% of your life. The remaining 30, you will squander time. You will be industrious for another 7. This is purely mathematical. The remaining 13, you will not know where they...
Ilorin Mohammed Jinadu, Voice TV Nigeria.